Hey, hope this finds you doing well. Hey, this would be an excellent week for you to refamiliarize yourself with how your final course grade is going to be determined. Because you want to make sure that you know exactly what it is you need to do in the next few weeks to walk away from this course with a grade that accurately reflects your awesome performance. So there's a couple of ways that you can get refamiliarized with how course grades are determined. The easiest way, I think, is probably to go into the modules, go all the way back to week 1, and you'll see there a link to the page called Start Here, Phil 12 Course Overview. And on that page, down towards the middle, is a short video right here, video number 5, where I go over how the grading system works and explain how your argument constructions and thought primers and quizzes kind of come together at the end to generate a grade that's going to wind up on your transcript. If you're totally sick of hearing my voice at this point, which I get, you can skip the video and instead just click on the syllabus link here in Canvas, and that'll take you to a page where you can download your very own copy of the course syllabus, and you'll see on page 2 or 3 is a discussion of how course grades are determined. All right, so if you are sick of Venn diagrams, if the concept of distribution just still seems like a foreign concept, I have good news. We're walking away from categorical logic this week, so no more discussion of A, E, I, and O claims, no Venn diagrams, no me nagging you to make sure that your predicate terms are countable nouns or noun phrases. What we're going to do this week is we're going to start an exploration of a totally different kind of logic called propositional logic, or sometimes called truth functional logic. And the 2 thought primers that you have to work on this week are going to get you familiar with some of the basics and some of the fundamental concepts relevant to propositional logic. Now, one of the things you're going to notice right away is that propositional logic doesn't concern itself with categories or classes of things. And what I mean by that is you'll remember in categorical logic, we had these 4 standard form categorical statements that we could then plug terms into, plug classes or categories of things into as subject and predicate terms. And depending on how we arranged the subject and predicate terms in relationship to one another, we might have a valid argument or an invalid argument. In propositional logic, though, we're not concerned with terms or categories or classes or subject or predicate terms. Instead, we're concerned with entire sentences. So propositional logic is a logic that relies on entire sentences and how they're put into relationship with one another. Now, I'm saying this because I want you to pay really careful attention to how you are symbolically representing statements differently than you did when we worked with categorical logic. In categorical logic, we would take a subject term and a predicate term, and we would assign it a letter. And then we would write our statements using those letters to represent those classes or categories of things. So a statement like all dogs are canines, we might say, okay, I'm going to use D to represent dogs and C to represent canines. And now every time I want to say the sentence all dogs are canines, I'm just going to write all D or C. Now in propositional logic, though, we would take that entire sentence and we would assign it a single letter. So I might assign that whole sentence the letter D, and then every time I write D, what I'm really saying is all dogs are canines, that entire sentence. Now I'm telling you this because you'll notice in your thought primer, when you're looking at the problems you're being assigned, I've put a note here that says, be sure you identify the sentence that the letters you're using represent. I need to know exactly what the sentences are, and I need to know the whole sentence. So you're going to have to write out the whole sentence that you're symbolizing and assigning a letter so that I know I can see exactly what you're doing here. All right, so have fun with this. It's a great, really interesting kind of logic. We're going to be able to do things with this logic that we couldn't really do very easily with categorical logic, and it's going to be fun and interesting, of course. All right, have a great week, and if anything comes up I can help with, be sure to let me know.